Welcome back. So we're learning about using Excel, and we're going to do a project where we simulate a pile of Lego in Excel. In fact, you've Lego in front of you right now that I've given you, and whatever different designs you have in front of you that you've made with your hands-on learning, you're going to try and emulate that on Excel. So the first thing we want is to open Excel, and the simplest way to do that, no matter what computer you're on, is just to type in Excel and to specifically look for the app, not the online version. It's just more powerful. And go to blank workbook. Okay, so now straight away this looks very, very busy. We've over 40 line columns and 60 rows. So we're going to go down to the bottom right and drag the zoom above 200%, maybe even 300% or more, like so. Right, I'm actually up now at nearly at 330%. And while I'll shrink that in a while, that'll suffice for now. Okay. Next thing I'm going to do is, because we're using square blocks, we're going to select the entire worksheet. Now let's look at selecting. You can select a cell by clicking on it. You can drag several cells. You can select a row, 2 rows, 3 rows. Sorry, columns. You can select rows, or you can select everything. By selecting everything, you're totally changing the entire worksheet everywhere, and you're going to take, as an example, column A, but you're actually changing everything, every column, like this. Okay. So next we're going to color these in. Let's say we want them to be red. You come up here make that say red. Let's take another block, make it blue. You look at the standard colors, they're very, very close to the colors of the Lego, and so on. There's green in there. With a yellow. And particularly when you do that yellow, you notice that just there's something that you might be not happy with, and it's the outlining. So we're going to do the outline next. So we could select that chunk of yellow Lego, and we can go to this option here next to the color, which is the border. And if you look up and down there, you'll see that there's one called all borders. Select it. Okay, that looks okay, but it's a bit thin. So now we're going to change the style of the border down here in line style, the line style of the border, and we're going to go for a very thick line here. However, having clicked it, it seems that I can only apply it one bit at a time. That's not satisfactory. However, if you hit the escape button, now it's actually effectively the new border. So we have a nice thick border now. Okay, and I'm applying that border, that all borders set up to this. Now the next thing what I want you to do, so we're going to actually build a specific pattern of Lego that you have in front of you. So let's say I want those two. So as I've selected them, the arrow goes white, but now it's gone to, do you want to move those two? So now I'm going to get into a bit of maths. Let's say we want this cell to calculate the lowest common multiple of 2 and 3. You can go equals LCM. You want to put numbers into it, so you open up a comma, 2 and 3. Hit return. Okay, you could also say here, this without the equal, LCM 2, 3. Am I allowed to say equals? I hope I am. And then that isn't big enough. I'm going to stretch cell A so it fits into it. Move that there. And we move of the calculation of the 6 here. Now it's on to the right, so we're going to center it. That's how you arrange the data in the cell. Okay, so let's see what that physically means. Put a blue block there and another red block. So using 2s, I can build up to 6, but I could also use 3s. I want to extend this to a 3 block. And I'll extend it. Actually, I can just drag it down, can't I? Here we go. That's much easier. So just look at that again. I could take that and drag it. Yeah. So take a 3, red, control copy, control V, and a 3 blue, control copy, control V. Okay, and that's a visual description for visual learners. We're all visual learners, to explain what the lowest common multiple, that if you build multiples of 2 and if you build multiples of 3, they will be at the same value of 6 for the first time, and not before. So here we had 3 and then 6, and here we had 2, 4, 6. Okay, so now we're going to go with the, now in Excel, the highest common factor. Highest common factor is not called the highest common factor, it's called the greatest common divisor, and I prefer that anyway, because we use greater for greater than or equal to on the number line. Greatest common divisor. Okay, and I need an equals in that, but for now I'm just going to say 2 and 3. 2 and 3 is going to be a bit boring. Let's use 6 and 10. 2 and 3 would have a greatest common divisor of 1. Okay, say equal. And nothing's going to happen there because I'm just typing. But when I kind of switch that around with the equals at the beginning. Now I'm in cell A here. Now if I put the equals at the beginning, we get that. Yeah, because 2 is the answer. Okay, now how do we depict that? Well, I'll tell you what we'll do. First of all, we'll take that over to another sheet. Okay, and I've got the usual problems on this sheet. I'll bring it up to 400%. Okay, and go square, except for maybe the first 2. And it shouldn't take long. And it will be interesting to see, has my line style formatting stayed with me? It hasn't really. Well, let me check that again. Line style fat. I'm not sure. Anyway, we'll go red. We can drag blue. So okay. So what we're saying here is basically, if we repeat. Now, by the way, the reason I'm using 2 colors, I hope you can see, is that if I just repeat reds all the time, then you won't be able to see that it is specifically a pile of 2s. So there's your 10, and a 6 we can get from just here. And we're saying we can use 2 as our repeat to get to 10 or 6. So that's what this means. Okay. That's the lesson for today. That's a 10 minutes video. I'm probably never going to show you this, but I'll post it to your to the team, and you may look at it in your spare time. Other than that, I'll show you something like this in the class, and you're going to do a load with Lego, or supposedly with Lego.